All right. Good afternoon again. So today we will be seeing about the pharyngeal arches. Okay, the pharyngeal arches or the pharyngeal apparatus. Okay. So it is also called as branchial apparatus. Okay, it is because it resembles the takes its origin from the gill of the fish. Okay, so that's why it's called as branchial apparatus. Okay, so the pharyngeal apparatus is made up of uh, arches. So you know that the neck is initially not smooth in all our during the development. Our neck is not smooth. There are some corrugations. So from the outer aspect, if you see these corrugations, they are called arches. Okay, and inside these are called as inside also you can see corrugations. These are called as pharyngeal pouches, and between the pouches, okay, between the pouch, okay, so here you can see this is a groove here. This is called as pharyngeal groove. So this is pharyngeal arch, this is pharyngeal groove, and this is the pharyngeal pouch. And the part between the pouch and the groove, this mesoderm, it's called as pharyngeal membrane. So initially you can see there are five pharyngeal arches. Okay, there are five pharyngeal arches, but the fifth one disappears. So one, two, three, four, and six. Okay, the fifth one disappears. Okay, whereas the others remain. Okay. Okay, so they help in the development of basically the neck, the head and neck structures. Okay, and I think we have seen that during the development of the respiratory part, the pharynx also I had discussed about this. Okay, so here you can see this is the or the nasal placard. This is the frontonasal process, maxillary process, and this is the pharyngeal arches. So initially the neck it is got corrugations. Then what happens after the fourth week? Okay, later on the grooves which are present they disappear. The pharyngeal groove they disappears. The second pharyngeal arch will be extending to the sixth pharyngeal arch, making the neck smooth. Okay, making the neck smooth. Okay, and in each pharyngeal arches there is a mesoderm, there is a skeletal component, and artery and vein. Okay, artery and a vein. Okay, so this is from the outer aspect, this is the pharyngeal arch. Okay, from the inner aspect, this is the pharyngeal pouch, and this is the pharyngeal groove. Okay, and the pharyngeal arches, okay, so they are derived mainly from the mesoderm. Some of them they get originated from the neural crest cells as well. Okay, so they migrate from the neural crest cells. So here you can see from the second pharyngeal arch to the sixth pharyngeal arch, they extend and then they make the neck smooth. Okay, so initially there is a small gap. Okay, but then later on they disappear. Okay, they later on they disappear. Okay, so this is called as the cervical sinus. Okay, so initially the cervical sinus is present, but then around the seventh week the neck becomes smooth. There will be no more grooves, pharyngeal grooves, so they will not be seen. Okay, so as a pharyngeal arch, it consists of an arch, a muscular component, nerve, cartilage, and the skeleton. Now, the main thing here is you need to know what are the derivatives from each of these structures. There are, I said, five pharyngeal arches. So, what are the structures which are developed from each pharyngeal arch? Okay. So, from the first pharyngeal arch, the skeletal component. So, these are from the first pharyngeal arch, there are mandible. So if the mandible gets originated from the first pharyngeal arch, there is malleus and a small ligament, which is the sphenomandibular ligament, and then Meckel's cartilage. Okay, so they form the malleus and incus. So these are the structures which are developed from the first pharyngeal arch. So here you can see malleus and incus. Okay, so that is the ligament of malleus. That's the sphenomandibular ligament. Okay, so the sphenomandibular ligament and the mandible. Okay, so these are the structures which are derived. These are the structures which are derived from the first pharyngeal arch. Okay, so these are the structures which are derived from the first pharyngeal arch. Okay, malleus incus. Okay, the anterior ligament of malleus, the sphenomandibular ligament, and the mandible. So these are the structures which are derived from the first pharyngeal arch, the skeletal components. Okay, the skeletal component. Also from the first pharyngeal arch, there will be maxillary and mandibular process, which leads on to the major development of the face. Okay, so they lead on to the development of the face. Okay, just a second. Please hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so for like this, you need to know like what are the structures which are derived from each pharyngeal arch. So this is from the second pharyngeal arch. So from the second pharyngeal arch, there will be the lesser cornu of the hyoid bone. Okay, then the superior part of the body of the hyoid bone, and the stapes and the styloid process. Okay, so that is this one, the stapes, styloid process, stylohyoid ligament, lesser cornu, and the upper part of the body of the hyoid bone. So that is from the second arch. Okay, from the so that's regarding the hyoid bone. Okay, the same thing. The third arch, there will be greater cornu of the hyoid bone, the greater horn of the hyoid bone, and the lower part of the body of the hyoid bone. Okay, so that's the fourth pharyngeal from the third pharyngeal arch. From the fourth pharyngeal arch, there will be laryngeal cartilages. Okay, so laryngeal cartilages except for the epiglottis. All the laryngeal cartilages, they arise from the fourth pharyngeal arch. You know the laryngeal cartilages, right? The thyroid, cricoid, arytenoid, corniculate, and cuneiform. Okay, so except for epiglottis, the rest of them they arise from the fourth pharyngeal arch. The fifth pharyngeal arch, as I said, it disappears. Okay. All right, so there are only four pharyngeal arches. Now let's see about the muscles. Okay, so these are about the muscles. Okay, the muscles of mastications. They arise from the first pharyngeal arches. Okay, from the second pharyngeal arch, there is stapedius. It's a muscle which is present in the ear. Okay, stylohyoid muscle, the posterior belly of digastric muscle. Okay, and the auricular muscles, the muscles around the ear. So they arise from the second pharyngeal arch. Okay, and the muscles of facial expression. Okay, so these are the branches from the second pharyngeal arches. From the third pharyngeal arch, stylopharyngeus muscle. Okay, from the styloid to the pharynx, stylopharyngeus. And from the fourth arch, so there will be cricothyroid muscle, levator veli palatini muscle. Okay, so those will be from the constrictors of the pharynx. So these are from the fourth pharyngeal arch. The fifth pharyngeal arch, as I said, it disappears. From the sixth pharyngeal arch, it is the intrinsic muscles of the larynx. You know, there are many laryngeal muscles, so they arise from the sixth pharyngeal arches. Okay. The corresponding nerves, they will be supplying each arch. The first pharyngeal arch, it is supplied by the trigeminal nerve. The second pharyngeal arch is supplied by the facial nerve. Third by the glossopharyngeal nerve. And the fourth and the sixth by the vagus nerve. Okay, the fourth and sixth by the vagus nerve. Now coming to the pouches, this is with regard to the endocrine module. Okay, so that previous now until now which we discussed was with regard to head and neck as well as the pharynx. Now the pharyngeal pouches. Okay, you know there are pharyngeal pouches. First pharyngeal pouch, second, third, fourth. Okay, the fifth one disappears. Okay, the first pharyngeal pouch leads on to the tympanic cavity or the auditory tube. Okay, you know that the tube, pharyngotympanic tube or the auditory tube, and then the middle ear. Okay, the second pharyngeal, so that's regarding the tubotympanic recess, the middle ear. Okay, so it gives rise to the middle ear as well as the auditory tube. Okay, now the second pharyngeal pouch, it is the one which is responsible for the tonsillar sinus, you know, the palatine tonsils. Okay, so the tonsillar sinus. Okay, the tonsillar sinus. Now the third and fourth pharyngeal pouches. Okay, so let me show you here. So this is the tonsillar sinus. Okay, the third pharyngeal pouch, it gives rise to the inferior parathyroid gland. Okay, it gives rise to the inferior parathyroid gland. And the fourth pharyngeal pouch, it gives rise to the superior parathyroid gland. Okay, it gives rise to the superior parathyroid gland. Okay, so here you can see the third pharyngeal pouch, it gives rise to the inferior parathyroid gland, whereas the fourth pharyngeal pouch, it gives rise to the superior parathyroid gland. So this is the one which you need to know. Okay, with regard to the endocrine glands, the third one gives rise to inferior parathyroid. The fourth pharyngeal pouch, it gives rise to superior parathyroid gland. Okay. The fifth pharyngeal pouch, it gives rise to the ultimobranchial body. Okay, it gives rise to the ultimobranchial body. Okay. So these are the parafollicular, the ultimobranchial body. So these are the ones which are called as parafollicular cells or C cells. Okay. Regarding the others, okay, there is the pharyngeal groove. This is the last one, the pharyngeal groove. The first pharyngeal groove is the only one which is persisting, whereas the other pharyngeal grooves, 2, 3, 4, they disappear because of the extension from the second to the sixth, okay, pharyngeal arches. Only the first pharyngeal groove remains, okay, and that is the one which leads on to the external acoustic meatus. Okay, it is the one which leads on to the external auditory canal or the external acoustic meatus. Okay, and the pharyngeal membrane, that is the part, sorry, that is this part, you know, this is the first pharyngeal pouch which is giving rise to the middle ear. Okay, and this is the one external auditory canal. So this part between the two is the one which gives rise to the tympanic membrane. Anyhow, we will be discussing this when we are discussing about the development of the ear. Okay, during the development of the ear, once again we will be discussing about this. So this is the master chart which gives you the development of all the structures. Okay, as I said earlier in the class, this topic is included both for your respiratory module, the GI tract, because the muscles of mastications are present here. Okay, then not about the reproductive. Okay, so in the reproductive it's not there, but in the endocrine it is there. Okay, that is the superior and inferior parathyroids. Okay, so that is there. And in the central nervous system and the head and neck, okay, once again it is present. Okay, because the ear development and the face development is present here. So this is the master chart. You need to know like what are the arches, what derives from each arch, what are the bony components, what are the muscles, okay, what are the skeletal derivatives, what is the nerve supply, okay, and what are the pouches, what develop from each one of these pouches. The groove, the first pharyngeal groove is the only one which remains, whereas the others disappear. Okay.